found him to be a very genuine person. I think that I consider him to be an advisor, a mentor. I think that he's a good person at heart, and he is looking to help people build their business. And even so, he's committed to delivering results. And I think that that's one of the biggest things I could say about anyone. It's just that they're very genuine, and Nabil is very genuine.
So this is Dr. Amit Shah. Amit is the founder of GNS AI, which helps business owners make data-driven decisions, leveraging the full power of AI. With over a decade of experience in the data science industry, he's built powerful tools that include sales forecasting and promotion ranking software that increase revenue in the nutrition space, and software to help robots learn how to move with more stability. Amit has been working one-on-one with Nabil in our accelerator program. So today we're here to talk about his experience to this point. And thank you for joining me.
That's definitely glad to be here.
So what was the biggest challenge you had before you started working with Nabil?
How to get in front of customers, I would say. I think the biggest challenge I had was not having that structure or framework to basically approach customers, not having the ability to, I just went on LinkedIn and just tried to network with people, and it was without a clear purpose, clear understanding of what problems I'm trying to solve. Nabil has helped me channel that into more concrete efforts in a more structured way. Now I'm able to adapt to the circumstances, understand a person's challenges, and see how AI and data can solve those challenges. I'm more open-minded as a result, rather than narrowly focused on just using my tools and skill set to solve a problem through just modeling computer vision algorithms or NLP algorithms or whatever. He helped me divorce my passion for the tool itself and actually look at solving problems.
That's awesome. And that really sums up the engineer's dilemma right there, is to come in and say like, okay, I have a tool. How do I want to use this tool? As opposed to, let's talk about the problem. And I am a subject matter expert in solutioning. Let's talk about a solution for your problem.
Right, exactly.
What were you doing before you were working with Nabil to try to overcome that problem of getting in front of customers?
That's a good question. I was doing a little cold calling, but I was doing it strictly in the government contracting space. So I didn't actually approach commercial customers because I didn't know whom to reach out to, how to reach out to them, and I didn't know how to open a conversation, how to present myself. I didn't have a lot of months of experience as an entrepreneur. I was fresh out of my job, my last job, still learning. I was strictly concentrated on government contracting in the beginning, but I realized it's a long sales cycle and I need some revenue in a shorter term. So I decided to also focus on commercial opportunities. Well, Nabil, reached out to me because he knew I was, just starting up as an entrepreneur, and he gave me some helpful advice in the beginning. I just couldn't figure out how to execute that, and so we decided to work together as a result. And that was helpful in giving me structure and a process to actually begin to go about this challenge of building a business.
I think you've really hit the nail on the head with the main struggle of coming out of that workplace environment where you have the structure to your daily activities where you're solving the problems as that key problem solver. But when it comes to actually building your business, a lot of us coming out of the industry kind of sit there and go like, oh, well, now what? And it's very much this trial and error process of, okay, well, let's see if this works. And let's, this I think might work. Let's go and experiment over here, as opposed to really coming down and saying, okay, I'm going to very intentionally go down this path, knowing that it will take me to this result and knowing that it'll be this stepping stone to get to this next thing.
Right.
And what would you say it felt like kind of working through that whole entrepreneurial startup journey by yourself?
It's grueling, I would say. Trying to build a team, trying to build a network of partnerships, trying to identify all the problems that can solve for each vertical is a challenge. And understanding all the different challenges that business owners face, for even one particular problem can be quite complex. And understanding how to overcome those objections, understand how to help them in spite of the things that they've tried. I think that is what I've now become more intent on, rather than just looking at things from the point of view of like, oh yeah, I can use technology to solve your problem. I was approaching it a bit blindly. Now I have, a more expanded viewpoint.
Sounds like before you started working with Nabil, it was really kind of just trying to figure out how you fit.
Yeah.
And what you could do, the tools that you could build, how they really fit into the industry. Whereas now you're kind of sitting there and going like, okay, I know that how I fit is really up to me. And it's really a matter of going out and discovering the problems and then determining the solution in the best way that I know possible.
Right, exactly.
And so when you were building this business and kind of coming at it from this place of uncertainty in how you really get in front of clients and work with them, do you think that impacted you personally?
It still impacts me. I think there's always that level of uncertainty, but I've been able to be more resilient to that. I've been more able to manage that uncertainty and the emotions I feel towards it as a result of working with Nabil. I think that now I'm able to have conversations at conferences and understand and do discovery with people at booths and understand what their challenges are and see how I may be able to help them. His expertise and his advice have offered me multiple ways to engage with the business owner. Having the uncertainty of how to engage with people and not knowing whom to approach and where to approach. I mean, those are the big things. It's a matter of just a process, understanding, talking to the employees, talking to the managers, talking to the executives, understanding the entire timescale of like an organization, understanding all the different factors, the hierarchy of the organization, how it operates. I think that's critical to being an effective consultant.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, I mean, you've touched on a lot of concepts here. You've talked about kind of the business, the mindset, the sales aspect of things.
Right.
What do you think are some of the key concepts that you've learned and implemented so far along that vein of thinking?
Just looking at things from a more procedural viewpoint, trying to process-based viewpoint, rather than looking at things from outcomes-based. Just so I still struggle with it, but I mean, at least I have that guideline. Focus on the process, and the results will eventually come. I mean, I've had opportunities even before working with Nabil. I've had opportunities come my way through just natural conversations, but I couldn't close. I had trouble closing. Part of it was maybe some lingering doubt, I suppose, self-doubt that, can I deliver for a client? But Nabil has helped me understand that, to navigate that uncertainty and understand that I have the skill sets, I have the tools to resolve customer issues in the best way I know how possible. And I have that, I'm very focused on doing that. It's just a matter of stepping outside of my comfort zone, understanding, just have the confidence to be presented with that opportunity and, just come up with that plan to actually solve it. I'm trying to be more empirical in my approach towards, building a business. So, gathering data on, the challenges that business owners face, speaking to them personally rather than just doing research where the research is kind of more on an aggregate level rather than a personalized level. So I see the value in that because you're talking to a person one-on-one, you're understanding their dreams, their frustrations, and you're understanding their infrastructure in particular, which is not necessarily representative of the industry as a whole. And so that's something I found valuable in working with Nabil, like just learning that skill set, learning to talk to people as to people rather than just business owners. Just having a more personal connection in that respect. He's helped me come up with critical questions that help propel the conversation forward in that respect. And I've learned to be more patient, I guess, with myself as well. I think Nabil has helped me focus quite a bit and in trying to understand a particular industry.
It sounds like so far you and Nabil have worked through a lot of challenges together.
Yeah.
Can you share with some of the highlights with me?
I had the engineer's mindset coming into the program, and Nabil has helped me also. I gauge things from the point of view of results. I still do to a certain extent, but I mean, he has helped me to identify strategies to mitigate that and identify ways to actually just focus on maybe like doing 10 calls within an hour or 5 calls within an hour, just looking at those concrete metrics. Business is really about establishing relationships, understanding the nuances of a problem, and identifying how you can deliver value fundamentally. And value is what would be the central focus of what Nabil emphasized. Everything's got to be value driven. So you price based on the value you give, and you price and you try to offer things that are valuable to the business owner. To articulate how he has helped me, what strategies he has given me to help. I think those are the basic strategies, essentially, just understanding and gathering data through conversations. He's helped me focus on that rather most importantly.
If I were to distill down what you're saying is instead of kind of focusing on the destination, he's gotten you to a point where it's like, all right, I'm going to focus on the journey and trust that the destination will be there for me once I get there.
Right.
What would you say is your favorite part of working with Nabil?
Yeah, I enjoy knowing his experience coming from being having a common background as an engineer, understanding the path and the trials and tribulations that he's gone through. I find that very relatable. And so that helps me to have confidence in him to help me guide me through those challenges that, he suffered through and stuff. So I think that those were the biggest things I've enjoyed working with Nabil with, and he's provided me very practical ways to mitigate, some of the challenges I've had to, deal with.
I love that you're I see you as building kind of on that academic foundation of being like, standing on the shoulder of giants is how we all advance as a civilization. And this really just feels like a continuation of that, where you're sitting there and going, okay, I can, pull together with this fellow human who has been through the same thing that I've been through. They've overcome these challenges. They're able to help me overcome them faster.
Right.
And so that you can kind of tackle the next series of problems that come into your business.
Right. Exactly.
That's awesome. How would you say working with Nabil has helped accelerate your progress?
He's accelerated my timeline with scaling a business or with growing, building a consulting business. It's still a skill set that I'm trying to master. For now, I think I'm starting to get the hang of it. I'm starting to understand the nuances that are involved. I'm basically freeing my mind up from looking at things from a narrow lens into a broader perspective. And so I would say that that's the most valuable thing I've learned from Nabil. I think.
That's one of those things that applies not just to your business, but to your entire life.
Right.
What do you think is the one thing you've learned that's made all the difference in kind of coming into this place of transformation?
Trying to free myself of the engineer's mindset and towards being a businessman. Trying to not necessarily have to devote my time to solving those issues on a granular level, on a technical level, but understanding and strategizing on how to deliver it and how to frame the problem within the context of my own skill set and address it. Like I may not be using the most complicated algorithms to solve a problem, but that's okay. I'm solving a business problem that is costing a business owner millions of dollars.
What I'm hearing is you're sitting there and going, okay, I can do so many amazing things, but knowing the value that I can create, even with the smallest corner of my skill set, is one of those things that really it's powerful.
Yeah, exactly.
What's one piece of advice or encouragement that you give someone who's on the fence about working with Nabil?
I think that Nabil is a really good guide towards growing the business from 0 to 100K to a million. He has the framework that that can help start a business owner, especially a new one, actually free them to free their mindset from just looking at things from just using tools to actually looking at the problem itself. That's what I would say. Understand your constraints and what you're trying to get out of the relationship. If you open yourself up to working with Nabil, the process will be a lot smoother, and it'll be a lot quicker for a person to scale their business.
I love that you've touched on these, so really great points on, coming in and being prepared to learn how to focus, and coming in and being prepared to really learn how to become more open-minded and maybe shift, where your attention sits. And really, it sounds like one of the biggest things that Nabil's helped you come in and really understand is the value of an open mind when it comes to, solving these problems for businesses and solving problems for your own business.
Right. Exactly.
What would you say to someone who's unsure on whether or not they should join the accelerator program?
Someone who's unsure, I think that Nabil will drive results. I think that it really depends, of course, on their commitment to actually focusing. And a lot of people will say they're committed to focusing on doing whatever it takes. But there are a few things that you have to understand. Is you can't be trying multivariate kind of combinations of things. You have to be able to be single-mindedly focused on one particular task and learn that with precision. And I think Nabil helps you do that. I struggled with it. I had a lot of things going on. I still kind of do, but I've put them to the side, working on building the business from the ground up rather than just taking certain things for granted. I think he'll spotlight things that you need to work on in your business that you may not be aware of that would become a major problem in the future. So I think he sets you on the right path.
Yeah, and I really love how you pointed out that it's just it's coming in and changing making the adjustments that keep you from making these, massive detours in the future where you're sitting there and going, okay, I've got to compensate for this learning opportunity that took me a little bit longer and took me off my beaten path that I was looking for. And so, yeah, it sounds like, if you want to save time, work with Nabil.
Yeah, exactly. That's the best way to put it. Yes. Is
there anything else that you'd like people to know about your experience working with Nabil?
I found him to be a very genuine person. I think that, I consider him to be an advisor, a mentor. I think that he's a good person at heart, and he is looking to help people build their business. And even so, he's committed to delivering results. And I think that that's one of the biggest things I could say about anyone. It's just that they're very genuine, and Nabil is very genuine in interactions with people.
That's awesome. And that's so critical because it's, especially if you're working with a mentor where you're sitting there and going, I'm going to share my personal struggles with you. being with somebody who is genuine it's a must.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so this has been Amit's story that he's been kind enough to share with us today. So Amit, I appreciate you taking the time to share your experience with me. Thank you.
Thank you. It was a pleasure. Thanks.